meteoric rise in the city of in the state of Ohio. As my apologies, not Cleveland. He's based out of Cleveland, but is the rankings for all of Ohio, jumping 6 spots in their rankings to reach number 2, on the back of Young Link as well as Roy.
All right, Ohio. We have to have a talk.
I never want to talk with Ohio.
Fighting Young Link. What? Why? Please tell us. Please explain.
Well, maybe we'll see why in this match. Because Colonies is going to have a tough fight ahead of him to get through BONK.
Oh!
Just air dodges through the shuttle loop. And still has enough time to get that down tilt into the forward air. And now, he didn't get the jumps off. That's super costly.
That is somehow surprising and also not surprising from BONK. It is something that we have seen him do, and he'll just kind of forget that, but you know that he's going to make up for it with a highlight. You just know. That's what he does.
You got that feeling. That's right.
Colonies is certainly going to do everything to prevent that from happening. He has the lead, and he knows it, but he gets kind of just chased off to the side, afraid of the scourge that is BONK's Meta Knight, obviously.
That was like...
But he chases him off the ledge, hits with the fair. Not quite going to kill, though.
And now that's stock, and wow, BONK's still living all of these. But that stock, BONK is a wizard at using the middle hits of that drill rush to get the auto link angles to send his opponents at really, really weird angles. And that certainly looked like what that was.
He's a student of the game. I mean, he has studied Meta Knight in and out, and he claims that Meta Knight can be a top tier. I have my doubts about that, but I would say that BONK certainly makes him look godlike, as those video titles would suggest. Looking for the Condor dive, but he does not connect.
That's right. But he is. I mean, this is one player that you can really prove your point against. The caliber of player that Colonies brings to the table. And he lived that stock for a really long time, and that's going to be really valuable if he can hold on to these stocks into like the 150, 160 range against a character like Young Link. Not only because it increases your own survivability, but because it allows Meta Knight to really exploit his own advantages, which are that he is one of the characters in the game that really breaks the rules. You saw it earlier with that auto link abuse from the drill rush, but the ladders into the shuttle loops, all these early kills that Meta Knight is able to produce. The longer you live, the longer you're able to abuse those advantages.
Yeah, and even though a lot of those cool highlight reel things take a little bit with which to set up, Colony's really not giving him a whole lot with which to work, eventually getting taken off of the side. BONK hanging on for dear life to that stock at 124. Colonies might be sensing blood in the water, but you know he'll have to be patient and wait for a spot here.
Yep, it only takes one.
Oh,
yep,
he got it!
It only takes one. That down tilt is a killer. I mean, it's the up air looks bad, but it's the thing that comes before it that is really what gets people shaking in their boots. Now that early SD is really kind of, I don't want to say it's the story of that match, but it is certainly, consider how differently things could have played out there.
Yeah, all it took was one whiff, and then Colonies connects with the low and sends BONK right on high. And
yep.
A little too high for Meta Knight's taste. It's a little hard to do if you've seen the up throw. But nevertheless, it works, and Colonies on fire like the river. He's going to be... what did I say that? He's going to take a 1-0 lead into game number 2.
Yeah, but this is... that was such a back and forth game one, and you cannot overstate the ability of Meta Knight to pull a KO out of nowhere, where it looks like you're safe and you really are not. And it's not, again, the ladders are a known quantity, but those auto link things and the gimps that he was able to pull off, Meta Knight always makes it back to the ledge. He can go so deep and still make it back. So even a recovery like Young Link's is not 100% safe.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. But one thing that I find interesting, especially about what he did, BONK, I think, got a little bit reckless. And that last stock was just kind of a microcosm of what was happening. Getting, maybe playing just a little too offensively in a defensive-minded game. Not really something that you can afford to do against Young Link. And as we wait for the second battle to start, there are going to be some adjustments that need to be made. BONK might just have to like bunker down, put on the hard hat, and get to work with some of these stocks. I'm not really sure if the highlight reel is going to be something that happens all that easily. He's going to have to work for it either way.
That's true. And you certainly saw a lot of that in game one. That like Colonies was keeping BONK honest and making him work for his stocks. But I wouldn't say that BONK voluntarily got overly aggressive at the end of game one. I think it was more just that one costly mistake of air dodging down and not having the jump in time, kind of forcing him into a position where Young Link can kill off of one hit, and Meta Knight maybe can, but it takes a lot more, and he needs to get a lot luckier.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. There's just too much left to chance when it comes to Meta Knight. And especially against Young Link, who is such a consistent force. And that's kind of what we see both online and off. Is that you do kind of know what you're getting with Young Link. There are obviously those players that can take Young Link to that higher level. I mean, most notably, perhaps the Maid of State for Colonies, Toast. But
yeah, of course.
And we saw that up close when he won the PGR event, Save Point, the C tier out in Milton, Pennsylvania. So we go to game number 2. That was the week right before everything shut down. So It feels like a lifetime ago. But here we are at Pokemon Stadium 2 for game number 2. BONK, he can't be the teacher here. He's gonna have to take out the notebook, do some learning himself.
Absolutely. And he's clearly taken some notes from the first game, and the offense is looking really, really solid just coming out of the gate. The trouble is that, this is still Meta Knight Ultimate, and that, that strong early game offense has still only netted him mid-30s%. Young Link gets that off of literally one conversion. One grab, one back air. There it is.
Yeah, as you can see. But
as if on cue.
Yeah, and he's doing a good job of timing out BONK's aerials and punishing him upon the landing. Of course, Young Link does have the ground speed with which to do it. He can approach you with buttons in the air. You kind of know what's coming, which is why you have to be all the more measured, and BONK is going to be made to pay, and pay heavily. He's in the triple digits now in his first stock, and we are just over a minute in.
And you might, I would say that up B are a little bit early. It's not a guaranteed thing, and that one as well.
Oh,
that one as well was a little bit more of a gamble. The earlier one, maybe not so much, because he knows that he can't quite die to one charge smash attack at those percents. But the second one was obviously what cost him his stock, and then he gets it right back with the Dimensional Cape.
Yeah, the Dimensional Cape eventually hit him, but that's the thing. With BONK, you know that he's going to roll the dice, but what happens when it comes up Snake Eyes so many times in a row? There's only so much that you can rely on that, and you will have to rely on the fundamentals as much as you possibly can with Meta Knight, because that's just not the game that you play, and you have to come to terms with that. At the same time, Meta Knight, you definitely have some tools with which you can combat Young Link. But you get kind of railroaded real quick if you ain't careful in Colonies. He knows that, and he is sending him on a one-way ticket out of town, BONK down to his winner side stock.
Yeah, and the offense has just been just a tiny bit off, but it's right back on there. That's the power of Meta Knight. He can just carry you literally wherever he wants, on or off the stage, and convert that into a stock. But it almost seems like the stars have to align in order for that to happen here again, and that really speaks to just how well Colonies is playing the anti-Meta Knight game here.
Yeah, I mean, he knows how to fight this character, and oftentimes you do see BONK get a little bit out of people not being able to fight Meta Knight. strangely enough, doesn't always help Philadelphia as much as you might think, because BONK really is just that damn good.
Clutch boomerang.
Oh, beautifully
man.
done, though.
And that low percent grab is the exact thing that BONK needed at that point. And the boomerang just said, I don't think so. Gets him up, and that, gets out of that kill.
He was bracing for the up B and beautifully caught with the down smash. Colonies knew he did not want to land above him because that up air could come out anytime he wants. Colonies moving on 2-0. Steal thy sword, young man. You are moving on to top 128.
Yeah, that end really just kind of snowballed, I would say. Especially that scrambled at the end. When you start forcing things out like air dodges and you're not doing anything, that's just allowing you to time up things like a charged down smash,